So let's see, where are we at? I'm gonna be doing this for a little bit before I have to go on dinner. Then I'll come back and I'll do the beer one before I wrap it up tonight. Again, this is not gonna be released for a long time. Nah, this will be released in a couple of days. But again, the beer one's what kind of takes priority right now. All right, so just give me a second. Let's see. Hmm. Talking about cosmic horror. Just so cosmic horror strips away the illusion that the world operates under fair rules or moral order. Instead, it reveals a universe indifferent or even hostile to human existence. A place where fate is cruel, reality itself is unstable, and hope is fleeting. Okay. So again, I'll work on this for like 40 minutes, then I gotta go have dinner. Then we'll come back later on tonight and I'll do the beer stuff. That works. Definitely works. Fuck. Okay, works. Sounds good. We're gonna go over it one more time just to be on the safe side. Alright, I'm gonna turn on the dodge just in case, because I do feel like the music's a little bit too loud. Maybe it's just me. Okay. Fear is immediate, a sharp jolt that bursts through the calm, triggered by an approaching enemy or a sudden threat. It's the primal alarm, the rush of adrenaline that pushes your body to survival mode. In horror games, this might be a sudden chase, a grotesque monster appearing in the shadows, or an unexpected noise just beyond your hearing. This instant reaction is visceral, rooted in the survival instinct embedded in every human being. But fear is fleeting. What lingers longer is the helplessness, a sustained emotional weight that settles deep in the chest. It's the realization that you have no agency, no power to influence your fate or alter your suffering. Helplessness is not just about being scared, it's about the understanding that you're trapped, that your efforts to escape or fight back are futile. This creates an emotional exhaustion that bleeds into every moment, which fuels the player's experience with dread and resignation. Beyond helplessness lies the horror that in its most profound form, existential dread. This slow, suffocating fear. This is a slow, suffocating fear that remains after the immediate danger has passed. It is the terrifying awareness that your actions, no matter how desperate, might ultimately be meaningless. Cosmic horror strips away the illusion that the world operates under fair rules and moral order. Instead, it reveals the universe indifferent or even hostile to human existence. Let me read that again. So, cosmic horror strips away the illusion that the world operates under fair rules or moral order. Instead, it reveals a universe indifferent or even hostile to human existence. A place where fate is cruel, reality is unstable, and hope is fleeting. In gameplay, this emotional spectrum is not accidental. It is meticulously crafted. The sudden spike of fear keeps the player on edge. The crushing helplessness draws them deeper into despair. And the existential horror leaves a lingering unease that haunts long after the screen goes black. The spectrum mirrors the human experience of trauma itself. The jarring moment of crisis, followed by a prolonged helplessness and a slow, unresolved grief that follows. Okay, I think that's good. So we can just start transitioning into environment as the silent opponent. Again, I'm gonna be doing this for a little bit, but I do gotta go actually have dinner. So after dinner, I'll take another break, then we'll come back and wrap up the day with the Bureau one. 4 streams today. That'll be it. And I'll probably have this specific video released in like 2 days. I just need to make sure the Bureau one's priority. That's the longer one and the harder one. Like this one's not that bad. Like this one's relatively easy. Okay. So the environment as a silent opponent, that's gonna be easy. That's usually just sound, the atmosphere, and all that fun stuff. So you know what I can do? I'll have dodge when I'm actually reading, so I can turn off dodge right now. It's actually kind of annoying. It's annoying just because my mic is so great, it picks up random ass sounds, and I'm like, oh, let me just reduce the music. So I guess when I'm reading, I'll actually just press the dodge button. Horror games, the environment is never just a backdrop. Prime example, Spencer Mansion. In a sense, the architecture becomes a weapon itself. Low lighting's a very common thing, which again, when I do my analysis, it's gonna be the prime example of Friday the 13th. Low lighting. And that's what I'm saying, life. When horror games use shadows here and there advantage. Say what you will about Resident Evil 7, that beginning section before you get to the Baker residence proper, when you're in a guest house, avoiding Mia is terrifying just because of how well they use shadows. Personal favorite, Camera Zombie. The thing that you every single classic RE game. Oh my god, Camera Zombies. Camera Zombies are the worst. More so Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Outbreak. Not so much Cobra Vodka. Taking tension. Your brain starts being silly, in a sense, starts filling in these visual gaps with like anything that makes you like doubt yourself. or just possibilities. Like, look around that corner. Me? Oh, damn, there's a blind spot. It's probably a zone. Something stupidly cringe, or the hell if his remake. Hey, it's a hunter. Fuck. So the brain strings to build these visual gaps. Awesome. Even on my day off, I still have to work. Awesome. Good example of this specific part, even seemingly safe areas become unsettling through the absence of light or detail. Play classic Resident Evil 3 when you're avoiding Nemesis and you don't down him or go into the next map and you just run into a save. Save room music doesn't come on. Oh, song comes on, then you know, like, yeah, he's still outside. You fucked up. Or even better, starts saying stars when you take too long in the save room. So yeah. So like, even safe areas become hostile because you know as soon as you get out, it's gonna be oh man, some random ass Capcom shenanigans. Okay. I'll read over this in a second. I just want to continue on with this just to keep the flow going. But I think so far we've covered all the bases for the environment as a sound component. Yeah. Ow. Don't you love it when you feel like you've written a lot? It's actually a lot. I was like, oh, hey, I've gone in. Oh, no, I've gone in. So let's just see what we have so far. In horror games, the environment is never just a backdrop. It's an active force working against you. Tight corridors, narrow hallways, and locked doors don't simply confine the player physically. They trap the mind and spirit. Architecture becomes a weapon in itself, designed to disorient, intimidate, and restrict movement. Low lighting hides threats and deepens uncertainty, forcing the player to question every shadow and corner. The architecture itself often feels hostile. The use of blind corners means threats can lurk just out of sight, forcing players to hesitate or tread nervously, heightening tension. The brain strains to fill these visual gaps with possibilities, sometimes monstrous, sometimes deadly. Even seemingly safe areas become unsettling through the absence of light or detail. This pervasive darkness instills a primal fear of the unseen and unknown, an anxiety rooted in human survival instincts. Okay. we can go into a little bit more. We can go into a lot more detail. But I thought I was actually writing a lot, but just not. Okay, I can do like another 15 minutes because I definitely do need to get eating. It's gonna be a very short work week because we have a 4-day coming up, so I'll have Friday till Monday off. So again, like this one's gonna get released first. The Vera one eventually, because that's a long video. And I'll get back to Golden Sun after like I release a video because that one's at the end of the script writing phase. I just need to focus more on these because these are actually like longer. It's harder to do. Okay. Where? What more detail? Also, it's 5 o'clock somewhere else. Do not drink unless you're an adult. I always say. This is a weird concoction of Jack Daniels and Four Loko. Tastes delicious, but I know my liver's gonna hate me. A sample of this, which was actually brilliant. Like, I know a lot of people didn't play this, but Resident Evil Deadly Silence, Jesus Christ. Resident Evil Deadly Silence, the PS remake of Resident Evil 1 did this really good because it added a couple of extra bits to Resident Evil 1. So, in the library, before the room that gives you a view of the helipad, they did a very funky, they did a very nasty trick with the camera and the Chimera. So obviously you know how these camera angles work. So when you start going towards that area where the window view of the helipad is, this should be the camera should be just focused on the back of your character. But they thought they were cute. As soon as you were getting ready to go through that door, you see a shadow just walk right past the camera's view. I'm like, the fuck? This is new? It ends up being a chimera that ends up just walking past your camera. And like, wow, that's cheeky. Deadly Silence. Deadly Silence. Wow, Deadly Silence. It was a very interesting game, but yeah, that was really, really good. Alright, so rooms may suddenly shift. Doors open. Hunter blasts through a damn door in remake just for shits and giggles. Yeah, that's the funny one. A good one is this game actually, Code Veronica. In Alfred's desk area, before you get to this, after the safe room, I believe, on the second floor, you have the gigantic window right beside you, and there's a slight buildup over time. Like it keeps on focusing on the outside view of the camera, and later on, as you press, bam, Bandersnatch goes busting right through. So that's a good buildup, at least right there. And I just like this. No, like this rear page. That's the fucked up one when the room starts changing. It doesn't happen often, but some games do that. Raise the player's spatial understanding. Yeah, spatial understanding. So this is 25 minutes. We'll finish up at the 35-minute mark. Just like I said, just gotta go eat. So tomorrow I'll do more of this. Then after dinner, I'll do the barrel one. Then I'll wrap it up tonight. It's been we got 4 streams done, so we've been working. It's just I have IRL stuff to do today. Stability. I gotta read this again. This intentional instability creates a sensation that the world is not fixed but fluid and hostile. Okay. I think I can pick the best games. Well, there are the better games. But no, I can't say better. I picked good games for this. For a sense, more games. Playing Alisa, I'm like, holy shit, this game's this game is that type of game. And like, if you played at higher drunk, like you'd be questioning the very fabric of the universe. That game is trippy. It was fun but trippy. Okay. Funny word, omnipresent. atmosphere. No, atmosphere. I'd rather silence this one. I'm still going to a little more detail. Bring lights, lights, luminous. There we go. So, yeah, the audio aspect is it's a tricky one. Such species. Okay, so in a sense, or paradox, he becomes a threat in itself. Fire. It becomes an active participant. All right, we have to give an example of this. I know I've been definitely but I have to give an actual example of this. Sure. Sure. Consider how games like Silent Hill 2 utilize fog and urban decay to create a world that feels alive with malevolence. Alive with malevolence, where every creak and shadow implies danger. Okay, that's good. That's really I'll give him another 2. Use amnesia. Score. Game. Yeah. I'm gonna go over this again, but alright, I think we can do it. We covered enough of the environment. We start doing the transcendental sense. Alright. So let's read this, then we'll wrap this one up for today. In horror games, the environment is never just a backdrop. It is an active force working against you. Tight corridors, narrow hallways, and locked doors don't simply define the player physically. They trap the mind and spirit. Architecture becomes a weapon in itself, designed to disorient, intimidate, and restrict movement.
Low lighting hides threats and deepens uncertainty, forcing the player to question every shadow and corner. The architecture itself often feels hostile. The use of blind corners means threats can lurk just out of sight, forcing players to hesitate or tread nervously, heightening tension. The brain strains to fill these visual gaps and possibilities sometimes. I gotta wait a second. The brain strains to fill these visual gaps with possibilities. Sometimes monstrous, sometimes deadly. Here we go. Even seemingly safe areas become unsettling through the absence of light or detail. This persuasive darkness instills a primal fear of the unseen and unknown, an anxiety rooted in human survival instincts. Sudden environmental changes deepen this unease. Rooms may subtly shift, doors open and close unexpectedly, and landmarks might disappear or rearrange themselves, breaking the player's spatial understanding. This intentional instability creates a sensation that the world is not fixed but fluid and hostile, an environment that rejects the player's presence. This not only disorients but dismantles the comforting assumption that the world can be learned and mastered, a fundamental aspect in many games. Horror games shatter this expectation, leaving the player vulnerable and confused. Beyond physical entrapment, some spaces themselves become antagonists, silent, omnipresent threats that do not require enemies to be terrifying. These areas evoke dread purely through atmosphere, flickering lights, ominous echoes, and oppressive silence. Such spaces play with sensory expectations. The absence of the overt threat paradoxically becomes a threat. The environment is no longer a passive stage, but an active participant in the horror, exerting psychological pressure that wears down the player's resolve. Consider how games like Silent Hill 2 utilize fog and urban decay to create a world that feels alive with malevolence. Consider how games like Silent Hill 2 utilize fog and urban decay to create a world that feels alive with malevolence, where every creak and shadow implies danger, or how Amnesia: The Dark Descent traps players in a claustrophobic castle with winding passages and dark corridors, forcing careful navigation in a world that feels both endless and confined. Even games without visible monsters leverage these tactics. The very layout and presentation of space drives fear and powerlessness. Now that we understand how the environment itself becomes a silent, suffocating opponent, we must examine the critical role of sensory deprivation. In sound and stripping away the player's sense of control and awareness.
Okay, we did good. So we got 2 streams out of the way from this. So tomorrow, once I have free time from work, I'll get started on this one again. Later on tonight, if I have enough time, I'll get back to the Vera Yandere stuff. So good shit. Tomorrow we'll be doing this some more. But we're getting there slowly but surely. So I'm thinking maybe a Wednesday release for this, if not Thursday, the latest. Other than that, we out. See you later.